What's up, Mumbai? What's up, London? What's up, New York City?
Alright, let me tell you a story.
I was in a nightclub in Mumbai. I bumped up against this alpha male when I was dancing. He was like, oh, meet me outside after this song. Then I got taken to Adele's speech therapist. She had the same problem as me, same level of talent. And she gave me this. Every day, 20 times a day, I was just like, in the comments, just make me laugh, bro. Don't make me think. Get someone to tickle you, you basic bitch, alright?
Hello everyone and welcome to Distash. My name is Prachi Makkar and I'm so excited to be here today with the one and only Veer Das.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Not only are you an actor, you're a comedian, you're a singer. What do you not do at this point?
I'm running for mayor of New York.
Oh,
next,
wow.
So I feel like I have a shot.
I think you do.
I feel like
Maybe.
the job's wide open right now.
So you're going to move to New York and be with us all the time then?
I think so. I could see myself in Queens, or I actually haven't found my New York yet. I don't know what my part of New York is. I stay
can see you.
here in the Village somewhere whenever I come, because
I see you as a West Village guy.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Is that
I
a
do.
compliment or is that?
It's a compliment.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
Definitely
I have
a
no
compliment.
context. Right.
Yeah.
Great.
But so I was just telling you before, I actually saw your stand-up special in Delhi, in New York,
Yeah.
and of course on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I saw that you had a double degree in economics
Yeah.
and in theater. Did you ever picture yourself being on Netflix and making people from over 190 countries laugh?
Well, no, because Netflix was not in existence when I was in college. Dinosaurs were, but
Yeah.
no, I didn't even plan to do the theatre degree. Like, I have a 3.9 theatre GPA and a 2.1 econ GPA.
Oh my gosh.
And I was sent to do econ, and then I had a beginning acting professor in college kind of change my life and say, you're meant to do this. So no, none of this was planned. Tomorrow isn't planned. I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing this evening.
Yeah.
But tomorrow evening, I do not know what I'm doing.
Well, tomorrow evening I'm going to be watching your special.
Yes,
That's
please
what
do.
we're doing.
Yeah, I will not be watching it. You please watch it. I've seen
I
it.
will,
I've seen it
yes.
enough times. So yeah.
And something that I've also seen in a lot of your stand-up and overall your interviews is this theme of being an outsider.
Sure.
And I think it started when you were a kid in Nigeria
Yeah.
and has continued in your life. Do you think that's helped in your creative process?
Yeah, I think it's, ironically, sometimes I think an outsider has more freedom to talk about a country than insiders do. Like, I feel like especially with America or the West, comedy tends to be stuck in like ideological silos,
Yeah.
in community silos. And sometimes I feel like I have more freedom than the average American comic to just be like, yo, I've got no dog in this race.
Yeah.
I'm not part of any sort of camp. And I can talk about your country back to you in a cool kind of way. So it's actually a lot more freeing to be an outsider.
That's true. I also think it's interesting because the first time I saw your special, I actually didn't know much of what was going on in the India government.
Yeah.
But even as a New Yorker who was brought up here, I still connected to it. And
Yeah.
that kind of leads me to my next question. Do you write differently for the audience that you're performing to?
No, I think at this point, I'm just kind of doing me,
Yeah.
and everybody's a little patient with that. Like in this special, there's a moment where I explain an iconic Indian gali,
Yeah.
just an abuse, right, and a cuss word, and it's nice to see Americans at the cellar like wrap their head around that, but
Yeah.
also it's nice to see Indians be like, all right, I'll give you a minute. Like, I want to see how you do this as well. So it's like a test I have to pass for both the Americans and the Indians, and I think, look, you have such amazing diaspora talent, right,
Yes.
that can speak to the diaspora experience in America. But if I'm going to fly like 16 hours and stand in JFK for another 16 hours and do the visa line, I'm going to tell you some stuff you haven't heard.
Of course.
I'm going to bring some stories that take you someplace new. So I think that's the aim. So it becomes, I think the more global you tour, the more authentic you need to be, ironically.
That's true. And on the gali front, I know the first Hindi words that I taught my white friends, my Gora friends, were some galis. So
Yeah.
I think they're going to appreciate
I hope so
that
too.
too.
I hope so too.
Yeah. And also in your specials, I've seen that it's not only stand up, it's a theater performance, it's also a confessional. You're blending your personal life into it. Do you think that you are a comic more than a writer, or do you think you're a writer who can't sit still at this point?
I'm a writer, for sure.
Uh-huh.
I'm very much a writer. I obsess about the written word, and I think I'm on a journey where, strangely enough, less and less with each special do I feel the need to perform that written word, and just to have it kind of flow out of me. So I think early on in your stand-up career, you'll find a lot of comics going for the last row and really projecting and really doing all of that stuff. And at this point, I'm just kind of sharing.
Yeah.
You know.
I like the sharing point because in one of your interviews that I saw, you said that the person who's usually like the life of the party isn't a good comedian.
No.
That's me. My friends have told me I'm not going to be a good comedian, so I haven't ever even tried.
No, the person sitting quietly in the corner judging the life of the party, that is us, and that's the comedy community.
And they usually have the best thoughts because they're not spilling everything out loud.
Well, I think my entire life is surprised that I'm even invited to the party.
Yeah.
So I think that's the perspective.
Well, on that too, you actually said in a different interview that you were invited to this party where you had to get on the table and give a kind of like performance on the spot. How do you feel about that and how far you've come from that moment?
I felt reasonably stripperish in that moment.
One can only imagine,
one can-
especially in Delhi.
Yeah. Well, there are no strippers in Delhi.
No.
Not officially. But unless an industrialist is having a bachelor party in Dubai. But I don't know. I knew instinctively in that moment. I was like, oh, I will not survive this socialite circle. This is not who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know what I am, but I definitely know what I'm not. Really, really quick. And so in that moment, I knew what I was, what I wasn't. This is not for me.
Yes. And in your special Landing, you talked about this idea of home.
Yeah.
And now that you're a globally touring artist, has your idea of home shifted, the definition of it?
A little bit. I think it's the stage and it's my family. You know, but I think if you watch this new special, right? There's no set.
Yeah.
There's the audience is fully lit. There's no fancy lighting. There's no props. It's literally just one ghost light and me, and we took that light and we planted it in the cellar, and we planted it in the church in London, and we planted it in a stadium in Mumbai. And you can see everybody just kind of sitting around and listening, and you can see every face and you can see every breath. I think that's home. You know, the comfort of everybody being lit and equal within a setting. I think that's home.
And getting to see everyone's live reactions.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, a lot of the editing on this special I was doing not for me, but for like the auntie in the background who's scratching her face. Or I'm like, this is a good angle for me, but it's not a good angle for auntie, so I have to cut around. I have to cut around for her vanity.
That's nice of you. Unlike the photographer at weddings who's coming around as you're taking a bite of the butter chicken. And
I don't
he's
mind.
In your
I'm
face.
like, shoot this shit. I will eat the shit out of this butter chicken. It's fine.
Also, in more of a fun realm, you've done so many shows, comedy specials, Comedy Cellar, Emmy Awards too. When you look at all of that, what's the most unglamorous part of being a comedian?
Specifically for me, I have to pee about 65 times before a performance.
Oh gosh.
So I have
Is
to,
it nervousness?
Yeah, it's
or?
nervousness, and I have to make sure that there's not a drop of water in my body to perform.
Before you go.
Yeah, so what you're seeing is like, and the guys come out of Carnegie Hall. But what you've not seen is he's done susu like 40 times in the green room before he's come out of Carnegie Hall. So that is possibly the most unglamorous part.
Well, at least we know not to give you water before your performance.
I know how to time it now. So whenever you drink water, you will have to pee 1 hour later.
Yes, true.
So I have to, if my show's at 7 o'clock, I have to hydrate at 5 o'clock. So that at 6 o'clock I start peeing, and then by 7 o'clock I'm on stage.
So that's why at 8:39 you're going to be drinking some water on stage.
On
so
stage,
that
so
afterwards.
at 9:30 I'll be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what is one joke that you think was like your favorite one of all time?
You can't.
You can't do it?
No,
Or what's your least favorite that you've done of all time?
my first two specials. One evolves.
Yeah.
My least favorite joke. Alright, there's a joke that I love in this special that I'll talk about. This is one of my favorite jokes, and it's maybe just for me.
Yeah.
But it's a take on racism, where I say racists are a marginalized community, and all of
hot take.
Yeah, hot take. Right. And racists really have a struggle, and all of racist ideas have been culturally appropriated from racists. And that's not a take I've seen a comedian do.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see the audience shift and be like, I'm not in on this. So I think that's the audience in that is my favorite part of the special. That's
I want
funny
to watch
me.
that. Yeah. This is amazing, and I'm so excited to watch your special.
Thank you.
And now, what's next on your bucket list? Something that would surprise people.
I wrote a book. Imagine, as someone who's widely considered illiterate, I wrote a book. It's called The Outsider. It's a memoir for misfits. It's a book about stumbling through the world. I just co-directed my first movie, and Amir Khan produced it, and so that'll be out soon.
I'm excited to watch that.
Thank you. And then I have 2 shows that will go on tour soon. 2 separate shows.
Okay.
That you would never imagine me doing.
Interesting. Okay, I'm excited for that too.
Yeah.
And I watched you in Call Me Bae. I think that's one of my most recent favorite shows too. And then of course, I think the first thing I saw you in was either Delhi Belly or Namaste London.
If you saw Namaste London, that's 2 years before Delhi Belly. But that was my first. That was my debut. Not my debut. I had one scene in the movie, but you know,
still,
it
was a good movie
first
too.
Time
And everyone
on
knows
camera.
that long speech too, so everyone knows the movie.
Yeah.
And on this special, there's so much buzz, there's excitement, and there was a period in your life where you thought it was over.
Yeah,
you were being cancelled.
Yesterday, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It changes on an hourly basis.
Yeah, you usually walk this line of kind of personal to politically spicy. How do you determine if a joke is worth saying or not?
I can't.
You just go for it.
You're the audience. You tell me.
I mean, I like your content.
Well, then we have no problem. But I think you move the line.
Yeah.
You control where the line is, and wherever you put it, I promise you, I'll walk straight up to it. But you decide where it goes every year.
Yeah.
There's stuff that I could do 5 years ago that I can't do today, and the stuff that I can do today that I couldn't do 10 years ago. You know, so you're in charge of that as culture evolves.
The culture evolves, society evolves, so I feel like it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
And you see that in each one of your specials as well.
Yeah.
Which I think is really beautiful because it shows you said this in a different interview, but you take a point of time like 1920s Charlie Chaplin, and you are showing us the happy moments of that time, of 2019, of 2024, of 2025. So that's what art is, and you've brought it to life in such a beautiful way.
Thank you. I mean, I hope with this special, you know, the inciting incident or enticing incident, I'm dyslexic, but one of those 2 words is me losing my voice. And it's a special about silence, but it's really more about your voice than my voice.
Yeah.
So it's about what it means for you, the audience, to have a voice in where you live.
And you said it before, the audience laughing is what brings you joy too, but you are bringing joy to people all over the world. We thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Veed, and thank you so much for being on Distash today.
Hey, it was fun. It was chill.
Thank you. Great.
Hey.
Thank you.
All right, there we go.